and welcome everyone to the Pony Talk podcast. Great to see you all back here on the awesome podcast. We can also say that we are caught up as planned and as we promised, guys. As always, I am your awesome host, Dashy101, and once again, I am joined by the wonderful and amazing Chris, guys. He's back with another podcast. Say hello to every pony.
What's up?
Alrighty. So, first of all, Chris, thank you so much for joining us for these few podcasts. Great to have you on here. I know I've been kind of asking a lot of you recently, but, you know, I feel like we need someone else, especially with these few other episodes leading up to the season finale. We kind of needed another person's perspective on the episode and all that, and yeah. So, I will get right into it. So, first of all, guys, this is our last podcast, our last kind of normal podcast, because as you're all aware of, next week is the season finale of Season 8. It's a biggie. So, the polls are up. They're waiting. If you guys out there, you want to join in on the season finale, we're going to try getting a few people on here. Now, I have mentioned that Rainbow would probably more than likely not join us, but he said for this one, he might. Now, I don't know, don't quote me on that, guys, but if things go out well and he's doing alright, I think we possibly could have Rainbow for that podcast too. And I'll try to get a few others too. But seriously, guys, if you want to join the Pony Talk podcast before it goes out for the season, we got a few other ones that we're possibly going to be doing, but this one is going to be a biggie. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. It's very easy. Just comment it below saying you want to join, and get you set up. So, as I also mentioned, we are now caught up, guys, with episode 24, Father Knows Beast. My golly, does Father know Beast a little too well. So, this is episode 193, and that also reminds me, guys, Pony Talk has hit its 50th podcast. That is a huge, huge celebration right there. So soon MLP is going to be hitting its 200th episode. Just a few more episodes to go. But we could say Pony Talk has hit its 50th podcast, and it's all thanks to you guys for watching out there. Definitely keep it alive and keep Pony Talk running. So it's awesome. I can't believe it. And now we're almost through another season. So let's begin with talking about the episode. So, where the episode begins is outside of the castle, the amazing Castle of Friendship, where we have Spike and Twilight. Twilight basically helping Spike to fly and get, normal to his wings, because now Spike actually has wings. Huge thing after that one episode that I forgot, where Spike actually molted and was getting all these dots and stuff, and he was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? So now Twilight is helping him with advanced flying. Now, I got a little bit of a connection right here. As we know, Twilight, when she first got her wings, Rainbow Dash was basically her tutor, and now we have Twilight helping Spike. But at the same time, we've mentioned this before, with that episode when Spike got his wings, that Spike learned to adapt to his wings a lot better than Twilight did. Now, I don't know if that was just because Twilight was just, given them by Princess Celestia, but there could be a lot of reasons for that. Anyway, we have Spike learning to fly, and then we have Smolder, who comes along a little bit while Twilight's telling Spike, hey, flap your wings and stuff like that will really help. Then Smolder points out, well, Twilight, you know that he's not a pony. He's a dragon. He needs to be taught the dragon way. And Twilight's like, oh yeah? Name one thing that I'm doing wrong. And Smolder's like, well, first of all, dragons don't have feathers for wings. And Twilight then kind of goes into a crazy mode saying, oh, how did I forget the simplest thing ever? And, but okay, yep, you got me. So Smolder then takes Spike, flies around, and does phenomenally. It's amazing. So now Spike is so happy that Smolder has helped him, and Spike now wants to give Smolder a gift in a thank you. And then I think in this part, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, Twilight asked Spike if she feels like they've taught him too much of what a pony does, instead of what a dragon does, because Spike is a dragon. He's growing up to be one, and soon he'll be a big dragon. And then this kind of little bit concerns Spike. He's like, why would you say that, Twilight? I mean, I've basically been with you all, throughout my life and stuff, and now you're bringing this upon me, which kind of made me to go into question. Chris, how about you?
Huh?
Spike, when he was asked by Twilight, do you think that we've put you more into the pony world than we did into the dragon, like what dragons do? Have we taught you too much what a pony does instead of a dragon?
Oh man, that was complicated, that one.
It was complicated. That's actually pretty well said right there. Yeah. So, in that point, Spike has some critical thinking, and then soon after, when Smolder and Spike, okay, confusing myself. Spike was in the room making a throw pillow for Smolder, appreciation gift, saying thank you for helping me fly, advancedly, because no pony probably would be able to do that. And Smolder's like, yeah, well, dragons really don't need pillows or anything, but it's nice. And Spike's like, oh. And then when they're talking amongst themselves, we get a new character, guys. Woo! Literally flying right into Ponyville and makes a amazing crash landing. Now, this is a bigger dragon, as we see, and this dragon is very interesting looking. He's green, and he has purple spikes, which Spike, of course, he's purple and then has green spikes. Now, this dragon's name that we hear, his name's Sludge. Very interesting name for a dragon, yet Spike is a very interesting name for a dragon too, as we are aware of. So then Sludge, at first glances and oh my gosh, I can't even think, recognition of his character. Seems like a very clumsy dragon, very messy, which, dragons in Equestria like that, and we've seen some amazing dragons throughout this entire show. But Sludge, he's definitely interesting. Now, at first glance for me, I was like, okay, so this definitely rings a picture, you know. The title first gives it away. It's like, is this actually going to be like Spike's father, or is this like, I don't know, phony? We'll say that. So he's all crippled and stuff. He's got like a broken arm, broken wing, and he's, Spike's like, do you need help? He's like, no, I'm fine. I'll get through it. I just crash landed in your village to, look around and all that. And then, at that point, Spike offers Sludge to stay at Twilight's for a bit until he recovers. And at first Sludge is like, no, again, I don't need your help. And he's like, oh, come on, we have amazing friends that will help. And then it takes a little bit of convincing until they arrive at Twilight's castle. And Twilight is like, oh, well, hello there. This I mean, their first reaction, they were like, okay, this is another dragon. We don't really get too many dragons besides Spike in Ponyville. So yeah, this definitely made an interesting thing right there. And Chris, I don't know how you felt on it, but
Yeah.
I thought like the reaction to that was going to be a little different, but as the main six are, and we know them very well, of course we know them, the show is basically based around them. Twilight introduced herself and her friends, and then they're like, well, you look like you need help, bud. So we'll give you that help. You can stay at the castle as long as you need until you get back on your feet, or your wings, or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, so the main six do exactly that. They help him throughout, get him moving again, get him to do things. He's a little stubborn, as we see through the clip scenes, but then eventually, you know, the main six do crazy things to get him back on his feet, running and flying again amazingly. Now, after that, Smolder, my gosh, I cannot think of what his name is. Sludge. We got too many S dragons. We have Smolder, Sludge, and Spike. Literally, the 3 S's.
Yeah.
Alright, so now that that's out of the way, I'm definitely going to, I feel like I'm gonna butcher, these names. I just have that feeling. Anyway, Smolder is, there we go, Sludge. Sludge is feeling better, back on his feet, he's alright. Twilight says, well, it looks like you're in full health. We did everything we could, and yeah, you should be able to go home now. And then he questions about Spike and says like, oh, why do you have a dragon and stuff in Ponyville? Is that like your mom or something? And then this is where Twilight's like, no, he's actually an egg that I hatched at my school, and ever since, you know, he's like another helping hand and another friend. He's not even just a friend, he's basically family. And then this is where Sludge is like, oh, well, you know, funny you say that, is because I was actually looking for him. I don't know how to say this, Spike, but, and let's pause here because we're going to insert a very interesting movie clip from Star Wars. Spike, I am your father. So now my phone just went off. What the heck was that? Even my phone knows what's up. Anyway, yes. So of course the major what? this dragon that we've been taking care of is Spike's father? What? And this whole time he hasn't said anything. And so now, there is our plot right there, guys. Sludge is supposedly Spike's long and lost forgotten father. So, yeah, this definitely now brings a lot of questioning in. And, then Spike asks, you know, to, like, talk with him more. And he's like, well, what do you want to ask me now that I found you, son? And Spike's like, the first thing Spike asks is, why was I left? Why was I left an orphan in my egg? And this is where things start to really go deep. Sludge says, oh, son, do you really want to talk about that? Like, you just now see me and you're going to ask me that? It's like, oh, I don't think you could take it. And he's like, just go on. I've been wondering this question throughout my whole entire life. Just tell me. He's like, alright, if you insist. Explains that, him and his wife, supposedly, were together and found, well, Spike's egg. As Spike's egg, of course, their parents. And they were kind of forced by, I think it was, what was it? After Spike's egg was laid, the Dragon Lord, demanded, like, Spike's mother to give up the egg or do something, and this was also with supposedly Sludge too. Well, Sludge decided, I will go into held hostage, just keep the egg fine, and that's where it all started. So now we got the story, and we supposedly have the story of why Spike's egg was laid, and why it was gone and then went to Twilight's, as we know very well. So now the main six are like, wow, okay. So the Dragonlands, that's interesting. And then they start talking about, like, oh, where did you guys go? Where did this all happen? And then he's like, well, Mount Everest. And they're like, ooh, Mount Everest? Yeah, it was with the hippogriffs and all that. Oh, we never heard anything. You know, we've been there before, and the hippogriffs are back. Oh, well then, long story, some place you never heard of, not even the Princess of Friendship has been there. So, now, Spike is getting all these questions and all that, asking his father about this, and then he starts, you know, saying, hey, let's have some actual father and son time, let's do some things. So, of course, they do those things, together, and this supposedly Spike's father, kind of like is, do we have to do this? I mean, you know, that sounds like a great idea. Kind of keeps on rechecking himself, you know, saying, oh yeah, I didn't mean to say that, here you go. Then eventually Spike asks, okay, is there something you want to do? You did a lot of things that I wanted to do, on the list, because Spike literally had a list, as we saw. Now, let's do something you do. And, well, as any dragon, they basically, any territory they are at, live in, they start claiming it their own, which is what Sludge does during the rest of the episode. Taking goodies, literally piling them, you know, and then cupcakes, getting rid of all the fluffy stuff like pillows and all that, because Spike's father says, okay, you want to be a real dragon, right, my boy? And Spike's like, yeah, I do. Anything for you. I want to do. And then they get rid of stuff. It goes into a song which, Just Can't Be a Dragon here. That's what it's called. So now, we get into the really good stuff. Now, at this point, and again, Chris, you can totally say anything with this. The part where, you know, Sludge is acting very weird and all that, you know, it keeps saying, oh, yes. We obviously know that this is not Spike's dad. He's just pretending to be Spike's dad.
Yeah.
Now... Oh, go ahead.
I always knew it because I always can tell. Like, it's not surprising.
Mm-hmm. Now, Chris, I don't know if you were the only one, but did you have a feeling like there was someone else behind Sludge? Like, did you think that it was like a villain behind this, or like something?
Nah.
I felt like and some people are probably gonna hate me if I say this, but guys, I felt like Chrysalis was behind this for some reason. I just had that feeling. I mean, that was my personal belief, Chris. I totally understand your side, but once like it started getting towards the end, I was like, okay, maybe this isn't the work of Chrysalis. But I just had a feeling, just like very relatable stuff. She uses ponies and creatures to get what she wants, and I just had a feeling. I was like, like, could that be a thing? I don't know. But that was one of my theories. I know it was far off, guys, but yeah, my second guess was definitely that Spike's dad would just be a hoax, which we are going to get to. So later down that time, Twilight talks to Spike. It says, you know, Spike, your dad, he's and Spike's like, awesome. It's like, yeah, I don't know. And then Spike says something really hurtful to Twilight. It says, oh, you wouldn't know that because you're a pony. And then we see that X-ray scene of the broken heart and all that, which was very sad right there. Even though, yes, Twilight has every right to be upset at that. I mean, literally, she's taken care of him ever since he was born, basically. And now, seeing that this has happened, Twilight kind of feels very crappy about herself that Spike said this to her. And now, Smolder comes into the picture, and says, you know, like, what's going on? How's your dad? Like, oh, he's good, but, you know, Twilight's kind of, you know, being a pain a little bit. She can't accept, you know, that he is my father, and he's doing all these things, like, literally taking everything, throwing stuff away. And then Smolder is like, wait, whoa. What precisely is your dad doing? And Spike gets more into detail of what's been going on these few past days or weeks or whatever's been going on. And this is where Smolder's like, it sounds like nothing a dragon would do. So now the question raises up. What is going on here? Now, a lot of us knew that this was a fraud for being Spike's father, but like, what is this dragon? Why is this dragon, you know, teaching him wrong stuff? Why did he fake and all that? Until soon, Spike's dad confesses that, well, sort of, okay. The dragon, or, God, Sludge, I cannot think of his name for some reason, confirms that he is not Spike's actual father, he's a fraud, and then goes into saying that I did anything like any other dragon would, and then Smolder goes in, oh, no you wouldn't have. And then this all broke out was because of a fight over a pillow, which I kind of found that a little bit funny and humorous. I don't know why, but I did. So, yeah. Dun dun dun. That's not Spike's dad, but, very obvious throughout the episode. And then Spike goes and apologizes to Twilight and says, turns out he was a fraud, I was being used, and I'm just sorry. And of course, Twilight accepts it and says, Spike, you're always a family to us, sorry that happened. And then now, I think this is where Twilight allows Spike to travel to the Dragonlands to learn more about himself and who Spike's real family is. So, yeah. That ends off that episode right there. Whew! There was a lot to say in that. But my golly, it was a pretty good episode. I give it a thumbs up. It was pretty good. For the last episode before the finale, guys, I think that was a pretty decent episode. Wasn't the best, but it was likable, and that's all that matters. Now, Chris, you have anything to say? Like, what parts did you not get or understand, or what were some of your favorites? I want to hear.
Yeah, the first thing, the thought I see is I'm very confused is that Sludge's telling the story about Spike's his eggs being taken. I don't think this is real. I have a feeling that story is fake.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, it was good. It was a good story, but I feel like there was definitely more to it. Maybe, and this might be a possibility too, maybe Sludge knows a little bit about what happened. I highly doubt it, but I don't know. It seemed like a pretty decent story put together. It definitely fooled Spike. So, it fooled everyone. What am I saying? So, yeah. But anything else with that?
Yeah, my most favorite part that was pretty funny when Sludge threw Starlight out the window when she was in the bathtub.
I forgot about that scene. Yes, that did happen. That did happen during the song. You can't be a dragon here.
I never expect that to happen though, but I couldn't stop laughing at that part.
All I could say is, obviously Sludge has no respect for privacy. So keep that in mind, guys. Just throw Starlight out with the tub. That was pretty funny. I do gotta admit that. Yes, there was definitely some hilarious scenes in this, and also some ridiculous ones. But other than that, guys, this episode was really likable. Definitely, in my opinion. There definitely could have been some parts that probably could have been better and all that. Sorry, that was my chair. So, yeah, but other than that, give it a thumbs up. I don't give it 2 thumbs up, but I give it a thumb up. So there you go. Yeah, I don't really have too much else to say, guys, because I think we basically cleared all of it. What do you think, Chris?
What?
About the episode of us talking about it. You think we cleared it out? Much? Yeah. Alright. Well, guys, that is a podcast right there. Wow. This is absolutely crazy. Guys, this is our last, second to last podcast for the season. That's pretty crazy. Next episode you see us guys in is the season finale of Season 8, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to make that as big as possible. We're going to end it off with a bang, talking about both parts 1 and parts 2. So yeah, and those will be episode 25 and episode 26, of course. School Race part 1 and part 2. So it's gonna be very interesting. I'm very curious what's gonna happen in that episode. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of questioning. What were you gonna say?
No.
No, what?
What?
Nothing. Never mind. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to join the season finale of Season 8 on the Pony Talk podcast right here, guys, then leave your comments down below saying you want in, and I will make that dream a reality, or that want a reality, whatever you want it. But if you do dream of being on the podcast too, well then, let them come out. Let them, let your dreams be dreams. It's a good thing. Anyway, yeah, more discussions, more talk, a lot more talk when we see you guys in episode 25 and 26, the Season 8 finale. Whew. This came by fast, and so far this season has been pretty dang good, with especially a lot of changes. Chris, once again, thank you so much for joining us, and you're more than welcome to join us with the season finale coming up this week. Alrighty, so yeah, guys, that is a wrap right there. Thank you all so much for watching this Pony Talk podcast. Again, it's great having you all, and we will see you in the season finale, Season 8, right here on the Pony Talk podcast. Catch you guys later. Peace out. Bye, everybody.